This is one of two more videos that I'm making today dedicated to Reverend Franklin Graham. I did an earlier one about when you were on CNN, but this one is going back to the rules. I said that rule number 4 was self-explanatory: go to church regularly. I'm sure that you go to church regularly. I'm sure that all your followers go to church regularly. But what kind of church? And there are two types of church. There's the Bride of Christ and there's the Whore of Babylon. And I don't know which one you're watching first, but I pray to God that this reaches you well and you choose the Bride of Christ, not the whore. Because a lot of people think, oh, the whore is just an at the end of the world thing. And yes, the whore will be fully manifested when she rides the beast. But there, just like there has been remnant of the bride throughout time, there's been a remnant of the whore throughout time. And you like to talk about America's greatness. You like to talk about Charles Finney, about John Winthrop, about American Christian heritage. And I agree. I mean, without Christianity, we wouldn't have got our freedom from England. We wouldn't have ended slavery. We wouldn't have ended segregation. But there were always Christians on the other side, weren't there? So let me just read a little bit of Revelation, okay? 1:17. One of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls came to me and said to me, "Come, I will show you the prostitute, the punishment of the great prostitute, who sits on many waters. With her the kings of the earth committed adultery, and the inhabitants of the earth were intoxicated with the wine of her adulteries." There has always been a church that was of the world. A church that cared more about power, cared more about greed, than caring about doing God's work. So I'm going to quote some of the ones that came before you. And I would stick to the end because your father does get mentioned. Okay, this is Jonathan Odell. Jonathan Odell was an Anglican preacher, elector at Burlington, New Jersey, who became a confidant of Benedict Arnold and scourged the patriots with a sharp satirical pen. "Whilst to myself have hummed in distal tune, I'd rather be a dog than Witherspoon," blasting a true Christian. Now, they lost. We got our freedom. And I do believe that our freedom, our democracy, helped lead to the softening, the democracy that England has right now. But what if he was right? We would still be subjects of the British Crown. Okay, Thornton Stringfellow. He was a Reverend, Southern Baptist, who believed that slavery was good and just under God, and I hope you don't. Because I think some of your supporters do when they wave the Confederate flag, but you spoke out against it, which I credit you for. This is from 1842. "I affirm then first, and no man denies, that Jesus Christ had not abolished slavery by a prohibitory command. And second, I affirm he has introduced no new moral principle which can work its destruction under the gospel dispensation, and that the principle relied for this purpose is a fundamental principle of the Mosaic law, under which slavery was instituted by Jehovah himself. And third, with the absence of positive prohibition, and this absence of principle to work its ruin, I affirm that in all the Roman provinces where churches were planted by the apostles, hereditary slave existed, and it did among the Jews as it does now among us." Franklin Graham, do you think that Jesus would support slavery? Do you think that if I decided, you know what, I want to own someone. I mean, I don't want to do my cleaning. I mean, I'll get him to clean and feed me and take care of me. Do I pay him? No, because I bought him. No, he's made in my image. No black is better than me because of his race. No white is better than a black because of his race. You're better by the content of your character and by your deeds. Robert Louis Dabney, who also was a chaplain. He was a chaplain of the Confederacy. He that is not with his God is against him. Hence, as there cannot be in any soul a non-Christian state which is anti-Christian, it follows that any training which attempts to be non-Christian is therefore anti-Christian. Look in the mirror, Robert Louis Dabney. Although I don't think right now you're looking at anything. He also said this. It is well known that as a general rule, Negroes are a graceless vagabondish set and contribute very little to the support of the state by which they are protected. They are not citizens, neither can become citizens, and whenever found in large numbers, they are an expense and source of trouble. The black race is an alien race on our soil, and nothing except his amalgamation with ours, or his subordination to ours, can prevent the rise of that instinctive antipathy of race, which history shows always arises between opposite races in proximity. He was for the status quo. He criticized people who wanted to change, who supported the social gospel, who fought the abolition cause. Please, tell me, I mean, you're from the Carolinas. Did you have a relative who supported slavery? I mean, this is what I love about your father. He condemned racism. Except for, Jerry Falwell, he supported it until he thankfully came to his senses and repented. The next, Carl McIntyre, a Presbyterian